Hello, race fans, and welcome to Disc Golf Daily. It is Thursday, June 13th. Stay tuned after the news for our United Rankings of Disc Golf. We are the podcast that gets you caught up with disc golf news and growth in about 10 minutes. Here we go. Pro Masters, halfway through the qualifier rounds, we've got some runaways and we've got some excitement. Follow all the scoring at PDGA Live, link in the show notes. In the MP40 division, Joe Rovere leads Eric McCabe by one stroke. Mika Leiko is 4 behind along with Jeff Faze. Josh Anton and hometown favorite Dana Vici are 5 behind. In FP40, Owen Scoggins leads by quite a bit, 9 strokes up on Stephanie Vincent through 2 rounds. In MP50, we might have a surprise in the making. Nothing against Schwebe, but this kind of surprised me. He is 13 down. Justin McClune is 11 down. Sergio Celis, 9 down. And then you've got Johnny McRae and Barry Schultz, 8 down and 6 down. And if you look at Johnny McRae's round, through the first 8 holes, he was 7 down before a quad bogey on hole 9. He's 5 shots out of the lead. He took 4 of them on hole 9. And in FP50, Juliana Korver is winning over Kimberly Gianola and Nova Polite. Des Redding is a DNF, very sadly. And that does it for 2024 PDGA Pro Masters Disc Golf World Championship Round 2 catch-up. Watch all the scoring through the link in the show notes. Our second news story, Annika Sten has improved. We see the new names on the leaderboards, and we are certainly excited for the increasing depth of competition. Annika Sten, probably halfway through the offseason, knew we were going to be seeing her name a lot more. She has improved dramatically in basically every statistical category. Her birdie percentage has gone up from 19% to 32%. Fairway hits has gone up from 68% to 80%. Parked has more than doubled, going from 5 to 9 isn't more. It's almost doubling. Circle 1 in regulation, 23% to 34%. Circle 2 in regulation, 45% to 59%. She's giving herself a lot of birdie looks. C1X putting has basically stayed the same, 72 up to 73%. But look at C2 putting, going from 12% up to 24%. Huge increase, Annika Sten. That's why we're seeing her on the leaderboard. Thanks to PDGA Stats and presumably UDisc and DGPT respective stat vaults for putting all of that together. Our number 3 news story of the day, Ultiworld West Coast wrap-up. I love reading Ultiworld. I've loved reading Ultiworld since its early days when I was playing Ultimate and wondering who this Charlie Eisenhood guy was that wrote an insane number of articles. Well, he's got a quality crew now, and here are the broad strokes of what Owl P. Jackson, Esquire, says about the West Coast swing. Link in the show notes to read the whole article. I did not cover everything. Number 1, Paige is back. She gets her first win after the injury. The tears of joy were shared around the world. Number 2, Holland and Ella get their first wins. Finally, welcome to the winner's circle, ladies. Number 3, Gannon's Oregon sweep puts him in the driver's seat of the MPO Player of the Year race. But Calvin is back and playing great. He's finished in the top 5 in 4 of the last 5 events, and his one finish outside the top 5, 6th at Portland. Not too shabby. And is anyone seriously counting on Ricky? He is 1 major away from taking a serious stab at Player of the Year. Meanwhile, Anthony Barella continues to slide, missing cash at Beaver State Fling. On a separate note, Eagle looks to be getting back into form, finishing 13th, 10th, and 12th, and looking more and more confident, more and more like the Eagle we know and love, especially with that 1050 rated round at BSF. And our 4th news story of the day, Innova fan survey. I don't know when or how this data was generated. Presumably, Innova asked over 3,000 of their customers a few questions, and then they generated some cool charts. So if we look at the charts that they created, how long have you been playing? The vast majority of people have been playing in their survey, have been playing for 2 to 5 years, almost 28%. There's 21% of us are the old timers. 21% have been playing 10 to 20 years. But the biggest group is the COVID group. Welcome aboard, everybody. How did you find disc golf? I love this one. 61% found disc golf through their friends, 20% through their family. Maybe there's some overlap there if friends are family, or if family is, you know what I mean. This one I love. 13.5% of people started playing disc golf because they saw targets in the park. If you wonder if course growth matters, that stat proves that it does. The more often you see a basket in a park, the more often you're going to be potentially interested in playing this crazy game. How do you throw more forehand or backhand? Obviously, 61% throw backhand, and no important people throw forehand. 25% throw both. And then 1% throws just the straight hammers all the time. What type of course do you play most? This is really interesting. Being up in New England, almost everybody plays wooded golf. That's over half. 40% play park golf, and 5% play open golf. I feel bad for that 5% that don't have any trees in their way. And I think this is our last chart. What is your max distance on flat ground? And it makes sense. 300 to 400 feet is over half the people. What do you got? You got 28. You got 30% throwing less than that, and 20% throwing more than that. I do like the 6.7% say they throw over 450 feet. That is clearly message board distance and not real distance. Our fifth story of the day, Infinite Defines. Infinite Discs has put out another great blog about disc stability. Bookmark this link if you have any friends that are confused by the terminology and like to read and understand what is going on. It is a good article and it is easy to understand. I also agree with their definition of stable as being in between understable and overstable. So plus one for them right now. Link in the show notes if you want to bookmark that. And our penultimate story, chess.com and the DGPT. The odd couple continues. And if you like chess or you just want to learn and give it a try, you can get a free month at chess.com/DGPT. Link in the show notes. Bullet chess, chess.com, DGPT. It's all perfect. Rook to h4. And our final news story of the day, Tim Sielinski versus the Disc Golf Masters Tour finale. Flimsy Grapefruit has asked, any thought on either of these tournaments being better or worse than the other? I'm going to go see one of them. Which one should I go see? I remember when the Pro Tour began in 2016, alongside the PDGA National Tour. Whenever anyone would ask which was more prestigious, an NT or a Pro Tour win, just the asking of the question would make me happy. Flimsy Grapefruit has posed a similar question with similar implications that again intrigue me. I'm excited to see how the public responds to this question. Anyone leaning toward the Masters Tour finale puts a feather in their cap, in my opinion. The Tim Sielinski is a PDGA major with decades of history. Heck, it was even held at Maple Hill once. The Disc Golf Masters Tour finale has just a few years under its belt, but potentially will draw a better cadre of players. It'll be a great conversation. Link in the show notes if you want to join in. Now, it's time to talk about who is ranked number one in the world, according to the United Rankings. All right, so each Thursday we go through our own ranking system, Statmando's rankings, the Power Rankings, the PDGA ratings, the PDGA rankings, and the Pro Tour standings. We mash them all together and we figure out who's actually number one. This week, the number one player in the world on the MPO side is Gannon Buhr with a score of 100 points out of a possible 120. Calvin Heimberg, 95, just one little tick behind Gannon, and Ricky Wysocki rounds out the top three with 55 points. On the women's side, Kristen Tatar leads the pack with 100 points also. Owen Scoggins has 80. Evelina and Holland have 35. They are tied for third in our United rankings. That does it for us today. If you have any thoughts, news, or opinions, shoot us an email, discgolfdaily@aol.com. If you don't, have fun, throw them straight, and hit the thin gap. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It really does help us grow.